Britain applied 3 times for the accession to EU. It was only in 1973 that were granted membership after 12 years. This is not my first time in London. I've been here before. And even though I didn't have much of a good experience last time, I always love to come here, and it's one of my favorite places. Not that I've traveled so much, but still.
I am extremely tired because we got really late last night, and I was also pissed last night because we was looking for a hotel for like 1 hour.
I hope that everyone is enjoying it because we're approaching the end of our trip, and at least it's good to get some, London punk energy. The investment in research and innovation brought us here.
In this country, at the university level, the big money for research increasingly comes from grant-giving bodies, both ones funded directly by the government and some other bodies, including some major foundations and charities. Because of that, research is increasingly pushed into a kind of scientific model where you have to go for big, big grants that involve teams of people doing collaborative projects. And this, I think, is something that worries me, because it's a model that works well for, biology and maybe a few things in the humanities, maybe social history if you're compiling some big database, or economics. But much of the basic research in the humanities, I think, does not fit this model. In the past, we had completely free university education. Then, under the Blair government, they introduced a very small level of fees for students and a system of loans where they could borrow the money from the state and pay it back later. And what this government has done is increase the fee level dramatically, from £3,000 a year to £9,000 a year. Again, with a system of loans. I came quite soon after the war, in October 1999. I was struck by the speed of rebuilding and people restoring their lives at a very sort of simple, practical level. And I was worried at the back of my mind that people seemed to be concerned only with sort of rebuilding their family home and so on, that you need more than that to build a society. You need organizations and political parties developing in the normal way, and you need that sort of general trust in all the structures of society that people have in well-established states like the United Kingdom, but they're very difficult to create in those conditions. But gradually, I think one sees more of that, although I can see that it isn't perfect yet. Little private so-called universities that sprang up, as in Albania, it became too easy for people just to create something and call it a university. And one needs very strict controls of that. That is essential.
The lecturer asked me if I would like to stay and do a PhD. It was sponsored by this company who was designing this aircraft, and the PhD would be in aerodynamics and CFD, computational fluid dynamics, in this wing alone, and then the combination of both. You don't actually get, I was very lucky because you never get a chance to do both. So it's a unconventional wing.
Oh,
so you know how they tapered?
Yeah.
In real life, they're just made like that.
Yeah.
So they're called tapered wings. This is a W-shaped wing.
Oh.
So these wings were designed to be used in something called air taxi because it's so crowded in London. They were thinking of getting some small taxis, airplanes, which they would fly in a very short distance. This aeronautics department has been open for a century, almost a century. Mm-hmm. So in 100 years, they actually had no women doing PhD in aerodynamics, which is unique. They don't discriminate against you, but they they do discriminate indirectly, because if you're a European Union student or if you're a European Economic Area student, then you pay 9 times less than an international student, which can't afford it in the first place. The reason why I came here, the reason why I asked my parents to sell the shop, is because I wanted to do this. So obviously I loved it from the beginning, which is good.